Alright guys, so we got a new project in here. It's a little tight in the shop. Got stuff sitting everywhere. And my son left with my truck key, so I can't get that door open. Anyway, this is a Honda Civic. A good friend of mine bought this for his daughter. And the front bumper and the rear bumper both need some attention. This was a aftermarket bumper and somebody spray bombed it and kind of made a mess with it. And when I get around to the rear of the car, I'll show you what the rear bumper looks like. But somebody just gouged it, maybe backed something into it and scratched it real bad. So we're gonna fix that one up and get that one hooked up for him too. So stick with us and we'll get this done. So the first thing I do before I start any project is get it good and clean. You always want to clean your project because you don't want to rub, sand any contaminants deeper down into the substrate of what you're working on. So I always wash it with scuff stuff and a gray Scotch Brite, then I always go back with some grease and wax remover. That's what I'm doing here, getting it good and clean before we do anything else. Somebody, like I said, did spray this thing down with a aerosol spray bomb. Left a lot of texture. A little crack right there. Just made a mess when you do something like that. I mean, you're not going to get, most of the time, you're not going to get a good color match or good quality from doing something like that. And then it just leaves more work for the next person to do it right. But that's what we're here for, so let's get it done. Alright, so it's been grease and wax removed. Everything's been wiped down. Washed over earlier with some scuff stuff. And first thing I'm going to do, I think best approach to do would be just take some, maybe 320 to it. Something like that. And just buzz over it and level it down. Get as much of this old stuff off as we can. And see how it looks from there. And if it looks good from there, we'll shoot some primer on it and get it blocked and ready to go. I'm gonna pull the car up, get to the back bumper, check that one out and see how bad it is. All right, now we're back here on the back bumper, and it doesn't look bad, just your regular little nicks here and there, but you got some stress cracks here, big gouge here, and as we work our way around, hopefully it'll be, oh yeah, not too bad. So we'll get this sanded down, get those right there glazed over, take these down and address those, get some primer on this thing, and then some color. I got this bumper sanded down. I went ahead and did 180. 320 wasn't quite doing what I needed it to do with some of the texture that the enamel paint had left on it. So what I've got to do now is get back around these corners, these edges, clean those up, and then we'll get it ready for primer. You know, nothing in my opinion looks better than a white car trimmed out with black. And whoever painted this got mess all over this stuff here. So I've took the grease and wax remover, cleaned all this. I'm going to shoot some black trim paint on that, let that dry, then cover that back up. That way when we do paint the bumper, that black and the piece of chrome that goes across there will stand out that much more. Also, I'm going to paint this piece down here with trim paint and get that dialed up. You know, that black and white contrast looks really good in my opinion. And if at any way possible we can save these headlights, I may try to do a little something with those. It kind of looks like most of that stuff's on the inside, so I don't know if we'll fool with those or not. He may just want to replace those, but we will try and see. So before I get this thing taped up and ready to spray, I'm going to do a walk around the car, show you guys what it looks like. It needs a little attention here and there. The interior is a little dingy, so we're going to clean that up. Before I started painting, I did do a lot of detail work for several years. I don't have the machines and tools that I used to have, but with what I do have, I think I can get the interior of this car looking a whole lot better than what it is. So we'll give a run at that after we get all the paint work done. While it's drying, we'll get in here and start working on the interior. All right, back out here in the shop, everything is taped up, covered up. The bumpers are scuffed, cleaned, grease and wax removed. The damage was fixed. Everything taped up really good. And we're about to shoot this white base. Products we're using today are the Honda White, Shopline polyurethane clear coat, and Shopline reducer, also the medium hardener. And we'll get this mixed up, get it sprayed, and let's see how it goes. All right, guys, we got the white mixed up, and what we're using today is the Spectrum Universal Paint System from Harbor Freight. I've used it before and it works really good. So that's what we're going to be mixing our paint up in. Well, I've already mixed it up. That's what we're going to be spraying it out of today. trip to Harbor Freight solved that issue. Alright guys, the Honda Civic mission is complete. Got the bumpers painted. Looks a whole lot better up here in the front now. Trimmed that black out underneath there. Went ahead and left that white. Just think it looks a little bit better. The bumpers aren't an exact match to the car. He found out later that this side of the car had been painted. But overall, you know, from 10-15 foot, it's not really noticeable. Went ahead and popped the hubcaps off, painted the back of these wheels black, cleaned that up, shot the fender wheels, trimmed out all the black, just made it look a little bit better. Did that all the way around. You got your back bumper back here. It had all the bad places in it. I got all that fixed up. So overall, it wasn't a bad project. Everything come out really nice. The car looks a whole lot better than what it did. It's been sitting, and it had a bunch of yellow buildup around all the trim and the doors. Got all that off. I showed y'all some pictures of the inside to start with, how dirty it was. We got that cleaned up pretty good. Couldn't do a whole lot for these seats. Don't have an extractor or a seam cleaner or anything. All this black stuff here came off the bottom of the floor mats, which is really nasty. So what we're gonna do is get the car back to him, and he's gonna take it to a friend of his that has a detail shop, and hopefully he can get these seats and carpets squared away. So there's another project in the books. Thanks for watching.